Have you ever wondered what truly lies beneath the waves? For centuries, sailors have returned from the treacherous North Sea with chilling tales, not just of storms and shipwrecks, but of monstrous creatures lurking in the deep. Among the most enduring of these legends is that of the giant sea serpent. We often think of sea monsters as relics of ancient myths, but these stories persisted well into the modern age, even among the most respected mariners. Today, we're diving into one of the most credible and terrifying accounts. A story from a man whose heroism is etched in history, but whose darkest secret was a horrifying encounter with a beast from the abyss. As captain of the RMS Carpathia, he famously navigated through ice-filled waters to rescue 712 survivors of the Titanic in 1912. He was a man of steel, known for his calm, decisive leadership in the face of absolute chaos. The year was 1907. Rostran was the chief officer aboard the passenger liner, the RMS Campana, sailing the very waters where legends were born. The North Sea was living up to its reputation, churning with stormy waves under a grey, foreboding sky. The ship was being tossed around, and the crew was on high alert. It was then, amidst the chaos of the storm, that Rostran saw it. He described a colossal, serpent-like creature rising from the turbulent sea. It wasn't a fleeting glimpse. He watched, frozen, as the creature lifted a long, thin neck high out of the water, topped with a head that resembled a horse or a camel. Its skin was dark and slick, glistening with seawater. He estimated its neck alone was at least 6 feet out of the water. The creature surveyed its surroundings with an unnerving stillness before a huge dorsal fin, spiny and menacing, broke the surface, followed by an immense thrashing body. It was a monster, straight out of a nightmare, moving with a powerful, undulating motion. Rostran wasn't alone in his terror. Other officers on the bridge witnessed the same unbelievable sight. They were experienced seamen, not prone to fantasy or exaggeration. Yet there it was, a living, breathing sea serpent. The creature stayed in view for several minutes, a terrifying spectacle against the backdrop of the stormy sea, before it submerged and vanished back into the depths, leaving behind only the crashing waves and a crew of stunned, silent men. Captain Rostran was a man of impeccable reputation. He wasn't one to spin tall tales. In fact, he was so concerned about ridicule and the potential damage to his career that he kept the story quiet for decades, only revealing it in his memoirs, Home from the Sea, published much later in his life. He wrote about the sighting with the same factual, sober tone he used to describe nautical procedures. For him, it wasn't a legend. It was a memory. But where did these legends come from? Why were the waters of the North Sea so rife with tales of these serpentine behemoths? To understand Rostran's experience, we have to look back at centuries of maritime law. For as long as humans have sailed the northern oceans, they have feared what lies beneath. The Vikings spoke of the Jarmungandr, the Midgard serpent, a beast so enormous it encircled the entire world. While mythological, this reflects a deep-seated cultural belief in gigantic sea creatures. This belief wasn't just folklore, it was embedded in the science and cartography of the time. Take a look at the Carta Marina, a famous map from 1539 created by the Swedish geographer Olaus Magnus. It's a masterpiece of early cartography, but it's also a bestiary of horrors. The North Sea is depicted teeming with terrifying monsters, including a massive sea serpent shown attacking a ship. Its coils wrapped around the mast, its crew desperately trying to fight it off. For sailors of that era, these maps weren't just fantasy, they were warnings. They represented the very real dangers of the sea, unpredictable storms, uncharted rocks, and the sheer overwhelming power of the ocean. It was the ultimate unknown, the embodiment of nature's terrifying and untamable force. These stories were passed down from one generation of sailors to the next, told in the dim light of taverns in port cities and whispered on the decks of ships during long, dark watches. They weren't just ghost stories. They were a part of a sailor's mental toolkit. The fear of these creatures fostered a sense of caution and deep respect for the ocean. It reminded them that they were small, vulnerable intruders in a vast and dangerous realm. So when Captain Rostran and his crew saw that creature in 1907, they weren't seeing it in a vacuum. Their minds were already primed by centuries of these stories. The image of the sea serpent was etched into the collective consciousness of North Sea navigators. Was what they saw real? Or was it a trick of the light? A mass of seaweed, or a pod of whales distorted by waves and weather? Their minds filling in the blanks with the monster of legend. Giant oarfish, which can grow up to 36 feet long and have a snake-like appearance, are a popular candidate. When sick or dying, they can be found near the surface, which could explain some sightings. Others suggest a line of dolphins or porpoises leaping from the water could, from a distance, look like the undulating body of a single, massive creature. Even floating logs, tangled fishing nets, or unusual wave patterns could be misinterpreted by a tired, stressed-out crew in poor visibility. Let's consider the oarfish theory. These deep-sea fish are rarely seen, but when they are truly bizarre. They have long, ribbon-like bodies, a red, crown-like crest on their heads, and they swim in an undulating motion. Could a sailor, unfamiliar with such a strange fish, mistake it for a mythical serpent? It's certainly possible. A large oarfish, seen partially obscured by waves, could easily fit the description of a long neck and a large body. Another possibility is the frilled shark. It's a living fossil, an eel-like shark with a distinctly serpentine body. While they typically live in deep water, it's not impossible for one to be seen near the surface. Its strange appearance could easily be mistaken for something monstrous. However, none of these explanations fully account for the specifics of Rostran's sighting: the horse-like head held high out of the water, the sheer size, and the prominent dorsal fin. Rostran was an expert observer of marine life. He knew what whales, dolphins, and seals looked like. He was adamant that what he saw was none of those things. It was something else entirely. He had nothing to gain by fabricating the story, and everything to lose. His reluctance to speak about it only adds to its credibility. He wasn't seeking fame or notoriety. He was simply recording an event that he couldn't explain. The legend of the sea serpent, therefore, exists in that fascinating space between myth and reality. And the tantalizing possibility that there are creatures in the ocean's depths that we have yet to discover. The ocean covers over 70% of our planet, and we've explored less than 5% of it. Who's to say what's down there? Captain Rostran's story serves as a powerful reminder. He was a hero who faced one of history's greatest maritime disasters with courage and skill. Yet, he was also a man who carried the memory of an encounter with the impossible, a glimpse into a world of mystery that lies just beneath the surface of our own. The sea serpent, whether real or imagined, represents the ocean's enduring power to inspire both awe and terror. It reminds us that no matter how much we think we know, the sea will always keep its secrets. What do you think Captain Rostran saw that day? Was it a known animal misinterpreted, a trick of the mind, or a genuine undiscovered creature of the deep? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the mysteries of the deep, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more stories from the unexplained corners of our world. We'll see you next time.